to Good People Beer Club. Today, actually, it's just a Good Person Beer Club. I'm thinking about starting a new series that focuses in on doing cellared beers. I've been really into craft beer for long enough now that I have a good collection of beers that have been sitting around for about a year now. So, there's not always an occasion to sit down and drink these beers with friends. So rather than sit around and drink them by myself and look like an alcoholic, I figured I'd share them with you guys. And I only thought it would be appropriate to do the Hardywood Mocha Belgique, which was actually released about a year ago today. And it's been discontinued, so it's something that would be kind of fun to see how it aged and evolved. I've heard that it's starting to hit that point where if I wait any longer, it might kind of go downhill. For those of you who are not familiar with the concept of cellaring, essentially what you're doing is you're taking, generally it's going to be a bigger beer, 7 to 8% and up. A lot of times it's darker, and you want to try to avoid the hoppier beers because the hops have a tendency to kind of fall out over time. So I'm talking, I'll go ahead and open it up. So you want something that's generally darker is good, but there are exceptions to the rule. In fact, in my opinion, there really aren't any rules except for that you know what the beer tastes like before you start to cellar it. So if you find something new you've never had before, but you want to cellar it, I recommend buying 2, so you can try one right then and there, and then go ahead, open it up another one in about a year, or if you have more money, you can try it 6 months down the line, and then so every 6 months, depending on how long you want to age it or how many bottles you have, every 6 months you kind of open another bottle. So it really all kind of depends on what you want out of it and kind of your expectations. So aging certain beers can produce desirable results. You can you can age Belgians. Belgians are actually generally recommended just because they're actually, a lot of them are generally very well designed, especially the doubles, and even the triples can have the capacity to evolve and change. But right now, actually, my cellar is mostly just a lot of big dark beers, ones that I just, you look at it, you're just like, I want to age that. I want to see what happens as it gets older. And then I'm starting to get into some of the beers that you wouldn't normally see aged. So because I really just kind of got into the aging game, so I want to know more. So you're kind of learning along the lines as I am. Oh wow, the head on this is almost non-existent. Didn't really form very well, which can actually happen, especially with aged beers, because especially with a cork, it's not a perfect seal, so you're going to lose a lot of that carbonation just over time. It's not a bad thing. Like, in fact, from what I've heard, some of the older Chimay are pretty flat, but they get a lot better, a lot richer, darker figgy fruits coming through. So it can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing. You don't know. So now this is their Mocha Belgique. What it is, it's a Belgian style porter, and it's made with cocoa nibs and Black Hand, I believe. It just says locally roasted coffee. I think it's Black Hand coffee. I thought that. Oh, there it is. Yep, Black Hand. Which is for those of you in Richmond, it's located just over in the Museum District. And actually really good coffee, and the owner is actually a really nice guy. He actually, from what I remember, works in the beer industry as well. So yeah, cheers. You still get a lot of that chocolate and coffee coming through. doesn't, you get kind of that like Belgian-y, yeasty smell, but it's kind of more masked around the chocolate flavors. You kind of feel like you're smelling a triple, but it's like been filtered through chocolate and coffee. So it's just vaguely there, but it's not a key element in the nose. Ooh. It's really, really lots of coffee. Like you're just drinking it and it's like a nice cold, it's actually a lot more carbonated than it looks. But it's like a nice cold cup of coffee, some chocolate in there. But really, there's not much else that kind of interplays with it as much as I remember. It's definitely the Belgian yeast part kind of started to fall out, while the chocolate and the coffee seemed to come through stronger, which can happen, especially like because of the malt is gonna be the more prominent agent that gains traction as it gets older. But it's really light, nice thin body. I mean, obviously I'm starting out with a beer that most people aren't going to be able to grab and age, but it's something that I needed to get out of mine, and I thought it was a nice little tribute to Hardywood, who's having their release. Actually, I think they had their release just over this past weekend. So it's kind of nice to without being there, get to try it, sample it, without actually sampling it. So yeah, this we'll kind of see how this plays out every month. I'll release another episode of my Cellar series, and maybe we'll bring in some guests. Maybe we won't. I think it really is going to depend on how well this is received. I don't know. But on a side note, we're hosting our very first event ever. And the fun thing is, if you're in the Brooklyn area or just the New York area, we're going to be here. But if you're also in the Richmond, Virginia area, we're also going to be hosting an event down there. The Brooklyn location, as of today, I know for a fact, is going to be at Beer Street off of Graham Avenue in East Williamsburg, and then tentatively the Richmond location is going to be at Mekong, #1 beer bar in the United States. We haven't been able to really officially lock it down to be, yes, this is definitely where we'll be having it. So I don't want to go ahead and be like, it's going to be there. But I'm working with a Richmond local charity called Screens and Suds. They're going to be down in Richmond, and I'm going to be representing them up here in Brooklyn. It's $10 at the door. You got to bring a bottle. The site will be, we're actually revamping the site. I can't give you an exact date on when it's going to be ready. It could, actually, by the time I post this video, the site could be up and operational. And what we're going to do is everyone's going to have to go onto the site and register their bottles. It's 30 slots for each location. So you register a bottle, and that guarantees you 10 sips. So you're more than welcome to bring more than one bottle, but you only have to pay one cover fee. So it's $10, and you can bring 5 bottles if you really feel like it, and that guarantees you about 50 sips. So a little dangerous, but I'm looking into getting a keg of something nice. And the whole concept of this is we're looking at barley centric beers. So a nice porter would be really good. An imperial stout, maybe a raspberry stout, something fun that you have that would be enjoyable that you just want to bring out and share with other people. I know I personally am bringing 2 bottles of the Hardywood gingerbread stout. I haven't decided if I'm going to bring anything else. but it's still still a few weeks off. It's February 9th, and I'm blanking on the time, but I think I agreed to it's 3 to 7. I'm gonna have to look into that. There will be details on the website, so along with the registration. So look into it. It's gonna be lots of fun. $10 at the door. All the proceeds are going to go to help MS Research with screens and suds. Yeah, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's just a fun thing we want to do. We want to promote ourselves, and we want to get a bunch of beer drinkers together, having a conversation about good beer. And that's really what we're all about here at the Good People Beer Club. So it's going to be a fun little event. I hope to see you out there. And you know, I always try to cellar a good beer. If you like it, go ahead, buy an extra bottle, put it in a nice, cool, dark place. I personally have a mini fridge. You don't have to go that far, but you know, somewhere cool and dark, a closet, something that remains constant. And just cellar beer, just open it up in a year or so and just enjoy it. So I guess now that I've rambled on, all I have to say is remember, wherever there's good beer, there's good people. And when you cellar it, it's even better.